we are filming. Oh, we've got a really funny colour.
What?
Pippa, what are you doing here? Why did you want to be in the beginning of the episode?
Because I just did.
Because you just did.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Cat Crafty Knits Podcast. I've got a confession to make.
What?
This is the second time recording this. I recorded this right before you came home from school. I very rushed the end because I needed to be coming to pick you up from school. Went to turn it off and realised I never pressed record. So I spoke to the camera for about 40 minutes and I wasn't recording myself.
What? Oh my goodness.
That's a little bit silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shall we try again?
Sometimes that happens to me.
What do you mean that happens to you? What podcast do you record?
I record myself on my tablet.
They can't see you now.
Oh.
I mean, you do record yourself on your tablet. It's quite funny. Maybe I should share a video. Look like that at the camera. You see that face?
I can't see my face because I'm putting that face.
Today is Tuesday the 8th of October. I might have already said that. She keeps putting me off.
Huh?
And I have a little bit of knit in progress to show you, but not really enough. Not considering I last filmed like a month ago. I mean, we've been doing an awful lot of knitty stuff, just not loads of knitting. So, yeah, you'll see. Right, Pippa, you can sit behind if you're going to be a good girl.
Okay.
But if you're not, then you can go back to your bedroom, please.
Okay.
So you're going to sit back?
Yeah.
Come on, thank you. So yeah, this should have been kid-free, but it's very much not now because I'm having to film it again. Pippa, sit yourself down or go back to your bedroom, please.
I'm setting my tablet up.
Okay. Yeah, so I have at the moment 4 works in progress, 2 of which I'm going to show you today. There's not been loads of progress, particularly on one of them there's not been much progress at all. But I've got to show you something, so I will be showing those. I have an old project that I'm halfway through frogging, so I will just talk to you about that a little bit as well, because, yeah, you'll see in a minute, I'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, so I've also got a pattern release to chat about today, which is very exciting. I haven't had a pattern release for a while. You're all going to know what pattern it is because I've talked about it before and it's been a long time coming, but yeah, we'll talk about that. And then finally, I have, leading on from the pattern release, is another little project to talk about, which I say a little project, it's really not a very little project, and it's been the thing that's taken up the most of my time, and that is a joint project with me and my husband. My husband's not a knitter in the slightest, but he's ended up being dragged. I would say dragged, actually that's not fair because it was his idea and he's the brains behind it. I'm just, I'm the knitting knowledge, I guess. So yeah, let's get stuck in, shall we? So whip number 1 I'm going to show you is hiding out in my Bellica Yarns bag. I've probably shown you this bag before. I absolutely love it. It's just a little on your army jobby from Bellica Yarns. It's got her lovely little label in there. Is that going to focus? It's very blown out on my screen. Hopefully it's not so bad in real life. And yeah, so this is holding my sock tube, the sock tube that I showed you last time. And it's not that long. This is yarn from Stripey Cat Yarns. It is her colourway named Platform 9 3/4. And I think the last time I showed this, it was about there, because there is a little bit of a kink where I don't think my tension was quite the same when I picked it up again. So I think I've added about that much. But yeah, it just still looks like the sock tube that it did last time, just slightly longer. The reason I wanted to chat to you about it briefly again though is because I'm probably going about this probably the wrong way in regards to tube sock knitting. I'm pretty sure when people do this, this was a 50-gram ball, so I wanted to maximise the amount I get out of it basically, so that's why I'm knitting it as a tube. I'm pretty sure when most people do this, what they will do is half the 50 grams, knit 25 grams into one sock, then start again for the second 25 grams. I've not done that. I have literally just started with it and I'm going to keep going until my full 50 grams is gone. That might be a little bit of a rogue way of doing it, and it occurred to me the other day that if I do that, then I've started with a toe, I will probably end with a toe too. Obviously that means that with this toe I would have increased and the finishing toe I will decrease. And I don't know if that will be visible or not, whether they will look different because one's increased, one's decreased. I'm kind of hoping it's not really going to make a difference. But you know what, I don't really care. They're for my husband and he won't know the difference, so I'm not going to worry about it. So yeah, I will continue this until it's all gone, put the toe on, and then I will work out where I'm going to split it, where I'm going to put the cuffs on, and then where I'm going to do the afterthought heels. And yeah, that's kind of all there is to say about that. Shout at me in the comments if you think I'm doing it completely the wrong way and I should fog it back to halfway and knit the two tubes separately. I probably won't listen to you, but yeah, let me know what you think anyway. So that's that project. And the only other whip I am going to show you today is the infamous shawl. You've seen the shawl so many times. I've chatted about the shawl so many times. This is the starting end, my cast on edge, and it grows into this garter stitch panel that sits in the middle of the lace, and then it grows, and it grows, and it gets to its widest point, which is really quite wide. Hold that side, Pippa.
Okay.
So you can see the widest point there. All the lace is a bit squiffed up at the minute because it needs a good block. And then there you can see, I hope, I can't really see what I'm showing you, that it is then decreasing again. So, let go again please. Thank you. So, at the point of finishing knitting last night, oh my goodness. At the point of finishing last night, I got to there. So that is, in the middle there, 50 stitches left. And that's decreased down from the widest point that is about 100 and... Stop banging, please. About 120-ish, 117, 120, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But it's something like that. So to get to 50, I'm on the home stretch. So that's really exciting.
I like a little butterfly on it.
My butterfly?
Yeah, the butterfly, right there.
Shall we show?
Yeah.
That is my butterfly. And that is a stitch marker from the Corner of Craft.
What? What's the Corner of Craft?
Corner of Craft is a maker who makes things like these stitch markers and sells them on the internet. And she also dyes yarn. 50 stitches there, and I obviously have to go all the way down to 0 in the garter stitch panel. So then I can then do the finishing lace bands to the point. So yeah. Definitely not finished yet, but again a little bit closer. The lovely guys at John Arbon Textiles gifted me this yarn, and the colours I have are Silver Birch and Loganberry, and I started off with 4 skeins. I only thought originally that this shawl would take about 150 grams of each colour.
150?
I'm going to run out, I think, particularly of the grey. The grey is my trouble colour. The very widest part of the shawl, where it straightens out and then does the curve back to decrease again, I have worked extra short rows in that section, which is then where the extra yarn on the grey over the pinky colour, pinky red, has been used. And yeah, this one, considering how far I've still got to go, this one's worrying me. I think I might run out of this one. Hands out your mouth, please. I do have a little bit more over in the office still. It is noodle yarn, because it's yarn that I had frogged from a previous version that I attempted of this. and didn't like, so ripped back, but kept the yarn because I wondered if I might be in this situation. Worst case, I've got that to use, and then worst case would be, that makes no sense, I know, stop looking at me, Pippa. Worst case then will be that I will have to buy a bit more of this one. Hopefully not this one, but probably this one. Good thing though, this is Harvest Hues 4-ply by John Arbon, and they also sell this in 25 grams. So if I do need a little bit more, I'm not going to need any more than another 25 grams. So at least I don't have to buy another 100 grams. And it'll be nice if that's the case as well, because if this is a pattern that I'm going to release and I'm going to have yarn recommendations on, I don't really want to have to recommend a whole 100 extra grams to finish what will probably be less than 25 grams. So it's really handy that they sell it in 25 gram lots as well. So yeah, that's the shawl. Pippa, would you like to show what you have in your hands?
Yes.
Is that what you're waiting for? Come on then. You can talk about it though, because I am going to drink my tea while you do.
Okay.
So speak to the people. Speak to the people. Make sure your head's in.
Wait, what?
This is turning into a very different podcast to the one that I filmed an hour ago. Come on.
I've got a unicorn.
Don't cover your face, I want to hear you.
I've got a unicorn.
And what do you want to say about your unicorn?
We didn't buy it.
Okay, so what did we do then?
We made it.
Okay.
And it was cause my dog. It was because my dog ate my other toy.
Which toy was it he ate? I mean, he eats lots of toys, but which one was it that upset you?
Domino the rabbit.
Domino the rabbit. So she had a toy rabbit that was called Domino, apparently. It was a black and white rabbit. And over the summer holidays, our dog
Then he
Charlie...
gave it to me.
I know. Our dog Charlie he doesn't like being left on his own, and he's quite an old boy now.
He's 11 years.
So his kind of affinity for being able to be left on his own has reduced in his old age. He really doesn't like it anymore. And that's not really been helped by the fact that my husband works from home. I've worked from home a lot as well. So he's not really been used to being left alone anymore, is he? So we went out over the summer. I can't even remember where we went now. But we came home and...
We went to like a fairground to go to Elijah's birthday party.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went to a
Like
birthday
a
party.
fair place.
That's a very good memory. And when we got home, we realised that this rabbit he likes pulling eyes off of toys.
Mm.
So yeah, it had been de-eyed and just generally looked a bit of a mess, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you got very upset about it.
Yeah.
So what did we do to make up for it? Don't just show it, what did we do?
We made toys.
We made the toy, and what did we make the toy out of?
Old baby clothes
So-
and fabric.
It's your old baby clothes, isn't it, most of it? So let's give a little bit of a closer up view. So the horn here and the ears is a baby grow that Pippa wore when she was young, as was this penguin here. What time of year were you born? Don't say your full date of birth, but what month were you born?
December.
December, so she's a December baby.
I'm a Christmas baby.
You're an after Christmas baby. You're not a Christmas.
I'm a winter
Christmas
baby. I'm a winter baby.
So yes, that was her baby grow. This was, both of these at the front was another one of her baby grows. A little panda face, half of there.
Because I like pandas.
And then yes,
They're
some
my
more at the
third
back.
favourite animal.
And then the only fabric that wasn't baby grows in this is the mane at the back, and then the fabrics that are on the legs.
I think only hard bit is the eyes.
Oh, and that was clothes. I made clothes out of the bee fabric on the bottom. Get your head that way a sec so it focuses. There you go, the bee on the bottom. I love the bee fabric. Okay, you can come back now. Wait for it to focus on our faces again. There we go. And yeah, so we made out of old baby clothes the unicorn, and your brother has just a teddy bear, doesn't he?
Yeah, that he never uses. Wait, can I go and get it?
It's in his bedroom, I think. You can
Okay.
go very quickly.
Okay, I'll go and get us this.
So yeah, we made these. I would say that it was an enjoyable experience, and for the most part it was. But sewing particularly intricate things like the snout and putting the head on and bits and pieces. It's quite stressful with young kids. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. But yeah, I put the ears on the wrong way, which was a little bit of a shame. That little bit there is meant to go on the other side, so his ears are on backwards. But she doesn't care. She loves it, and she sleeps with this thing every night, which is really sweet because it's a bit of a special thing. But yeah, there we go. This very quickly is the teddy bear as well,
with no mouth like my unicorn.
So yeah, and why did I never do the mouth? Did I just give up?
Yeah, you gave up because we both got bored.
You both got bored, and yeah, let's be honest, Oscar just doesn't care, does he?
Yeah, he never.
Okay.
He never cared about it.
Okay. Thank you for showing. That was very nice of you. Okay, you going to go back to your tablet now?
Yeah.
Come on then. There we go. That was a bit of a sidetrack, wasn't it? This is going to end up being quite a long episode, I think, isn't it? I'm filming this segment halfway through. I apologise for the mess this might be of an episode. Filming with children around really isn't that fun. Not when your children are 6 and 4 and full of life, shall we say. Oh, I now have both children on the bed behind me, so let's see how this goes. The other thing I wanted to chat to you guys about was what I am wearing. This is my Summerdown top by the Woolly Badger. I have 2 versions of this top. This is my DK weight version, and I will show you briefly my 4-ply version in a minute. This one was knit in the first size, so it's a little bit tighter than the other one on me, and yeah, it does create a little bit of a different effect. So as you can see, you've got the lovely lace panel that goes up each arm, and you actually knit these first. Then once you've got your 2 bands, you pick up stitches along the edge, join, create a back panel down the other side, and that creates your back panel. Then you knit backwards and forwards until your whole upper back panel is finished. Then you do the same for the front. Now I can't remember if there's short rows in the front to create the scoop neckline or whether it's done with other shaping. Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a little while since I knit it, so apologies, Jackie, I can't remember. But either way, it creates a really nice scoop neckline at the front, and then once you've got both your back and your front panels knit, then you join in the round, and then you knit the rest of the body in the round. You can't see it greatly in this version, but it is a little bit of a dolman sleeve, which you can see there, sort of see there. But in my other version, that's really obvious because it is more, it was meant to be, the pattern recommends that you knit it with a little bit of positive ease, and because that dolman sleeve is just much more obvious, and you can see it there. And this is my other version. So this one is knit in 4-ply singles with a strand of Suri fluff, and yeah. Not only are they completely different colours, but I think because of the singles and then the Suri with this one's really light and flowy. This one is a superwash merino nylon DK mix, so your standard DK base basically, compared to this one, which is much more light and flowy. The neckline's a little bit wider on this one, and I think again it's just because the fabric's a bit more flowy, and yeah, you've definitely got more ease there, you can see. So yeah, they are my Summerdown tops. I can definitely see another one of these in my future as well. Just find them so easy to wear. I think with both of them I've added a little bit more length to the body. I think Jackie originally recommended that they came a bit cropped. But yeah, I quite like having a little bit more length. I'm not a super cropped person, so they really work for me. I really enjoy them. And then this brings me on to the last project in progress, I guess, that I wanted to chat about today, and that is my cardigan that I've started to frog. Now this cardigan I started knitting when I was pregnant with Pippa, so about 7 years ago I guess now, and it's a 4-ply yarn on quite a tight gauge, a tighter gauge than the pattern recommended. And in fact, actually, I didn't really do an awful lot that the pattern recommended. The pattern was called Guernsey Girl, I think it was. And I can't even remember the designer's name, I apologise. I'll put it on the screen. And basically I used it because I liked the shape of the cardigan in the picture. The cardigan itself had like the thick band for the top, as this does. And then it was kind of like a cardigan down, kind of quite boxy-ish, and had kind of all over knit and purl stitch work to make the pattern. But I didn't want the pattern, I wanted the yarn to do all the speaking itself really, and I've just shown you how bright it is, so yeah, it speaks for itself. So I just basically used the pattern for the shaping and the numbers and made it up myself. And this is what I have so far, destroyed anyway, it's gone backwards obviously, and I will put in a picture of it finished before I started undoing it. And yeah, this was it. See the thick double collar there, and then the back, and the button bands did have the blue contrast, but as you can see I've already taken those off, as I have the sleeves as well. So yeah, the main reasons I frogged this, I love these colours, I love these yarns. These yarns were from Rosie's Moments, which I bought at Stitch Fest, gosh, 2016, 2017. It's one of the first ones they did when it was still in Totnes. Yeah, anyway, a long time ago. I knit them up in this, and I tried it on, bearing in mind I was fairly heavily pregnant at the time. I tried it on and was like, oh, it's really quite small. This doesn't fit me very well. I was like, okay, doesn't matter. I am pregnant. They will fit me once I'm not pregnant anymore. It will be fine. I had Pippa, was no longer pregnant, still probably had a little bit of baby weight, but wasn't pregnant anymore. Still didn't really fit me. Then I got pregnant a second time. And now I'm 2 stone heavier than I was then, and it's never going to fit me. And I've given up thinking it's going to fit me. But I love these yarns, so they are going to be repurposed. So that's why I'm frogging it. This blue, which you can see here, oh, it looks so good there. I dyed myself as the contrast colour, and it was one of the first yarns I dyed. And I was so pleased with it. I was so excited to make this whole project. Yeah, it needs to be redone because I really want to use these yarns and I want to wear these yarns. So yeah, unfortunately, I put a reel of me trying to frog this on Instagram. Basically, I tried to undo the button bands first and they did not play ball in the slightest, and I ended up completely hacking them apart with a pair of scissors in the end. So unfortunately I've lost that yarn, but I'm hoping for better luck with the neckband and the bottom ribbon. So hopefully I might at least save some of that. We'll see how that goes. I will report back when it's finished and I've got the yarn. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet next. If you've got any ideas, I'd really love to hear them. I guess it will partly depend on how much I end up with left. The scraps that I had from when I made this, I've already used in another project. So whatever I get out of this frogging exercise will be what I have. So it might have to be maybe stripy socks, or I mean there's going to be a lot of yarn for stripy socks, but what I mean is it might not be something as substantial as a full garment anymore, unless I knit it at a much looser gauge, of course. So yeah, that might be exciting things to come in the future, who knows, we'll see. So this brings me on to the pattern release. No surprises, it is my Over the Ocean jumper. My Over the Ocean jumper in all its textured glory. I appreciate you can't super see the texture on this because the camera blows it out quite nicely. My mum's knitted a version of this recently in a really lovely grey yarn from Stranded Dye Works, and I will input the photos of that version because actually you can see the texture a little bit better in that. But yeah, I'm so pleased to have this finally released. This has been a labour of love for a very, very long time. Most of the love, and the labour, should I say, went into getting these short rows to lower the back neckline, or the front neckline from the back, but maintain the all-over texture in the garment. That took so long to get right. Yeah, other features of this, it's got a 1x1 twisted neckline, and all the rib is twisted rib. You have a cable that runs with the raglan, as you can see there. It is a compound raglan, which means that hopefully the fit is good across the whole border sizes. It comes in sizes, there's 10 sizes. Now gosh, can I remember off the top of my head what they are? I think it's from a 33 inch to a 70 inch chest. And then obviously there's the kids version as well, which goes from a 6-month size up to I think it's like a 31 inch chest for the larger size. So there's the full range of sizes. I have not skimped on sizes. Yeah, that's that. It is knit in a DK weight yarn. Again, it is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Though I always say this with my patterns, if you can swatch, get gauge, be happy with the fabric, knit it in whatever you like. Knit it in whatever you like. That's what's fun about knitting, isn't it? You can just do what you like, really. This pattern's actually been ready for release in terms of the PDF. The PDF has been ready for release since the beginning of September. The test knit finished in late August. The reason that this has taken me several weeks to release is because in the background I've been working on another project with my husband nonetheless, and that in the preparation for that has also delayed this one, in the sense that there's a second version of the pattern. So there's not just the PDF, there is also an OPAF pattern. OPAF's not going to mean much to you, but OPAF, or Open Pattern Format, is a project myself and my husband have been working on for quite a long time now, and it's the project that I have hinted at a few times in this podcast in the last couple of episodes, but I have shied away from talking about, I guess I should say. And the reason I've shied away from it is simply because I want to do it justice and I want to get it right when I talk about it. So now probably isn't the time, with the kids next door arguing and this being a bit of a mayhem episode, but I need to give it a go. So should we give it a go? I mean, I actually wanted my husband to join me with this segment because he's way better at presenting than I am. He's way better at all of this than I am. He's also the real brains behind most of it as well. So he probably should have been here to chat about it, but I couldn't convince him. I had a flat, no, I don't want to do that attitude. I'm not talking to the camera, which is ridiculous because he's literally so much better than this. He's presented to thousands of people before in person. So yeah, I don't know why it's been left to me. Yeah, OPAF has come about as a result of kind of our observations of some of the things that have been happening in the knitting industry in the last couple of years. By that, what I mean is the kind of growing popularity and things cropping up to do with apps and interactive patterns and dynamic knitting experiences. There's been growing interest in that area, I think, for a while. There's a couple of apps currently out there that kind of stand out, certainly to me anyway, as being bigger players in the market. And yeah, there seems to be a kind of a slow trend towards bringing technology into knitting patterns to make them easier to read, easier to ingest, more dynamic and user-friendly, I guess. Lots of the apps that I have seen kind of incorporate being able to click on stitches and see a video to see how it's done, technique help, same size instructions, or one size instructions, I should mean, rather than seeing long strings of information for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many sizes. And yeah, so all of these apps are trying to kind of, make the knitting pattern reading experience easier. And the other thing, kind of as a knitter and a designer, I have noticed is that there's growing popularity in patterns offering as much as possible. So that from an accessibility point of view, so making sure patterns are clear and easy to understand, anyone can follow them, to things like font size, low vision versions, making accessibility for knitting as important as it should be, basically. And with that also size inclusivity, making sure patterns fit everybody. They're not just in 3 or 4 very small sizes, they can cater for everyone. Or the other thing that we've seen quite a lot of recently is patterns that have lots of options to give knitters flexibility in how they want to knit their garments. So that might be in bust shaping, for example. I know the Woolly Badger does a lot of bust work in her patterns, so often you'll have options for like a 2-inch bust adjustment or a 4-inch bust adjustment for the more bustier women. Or I think the Kriya Bayer is another one that adds lots of options for her patterns. I think the most recent podcast of hers I watched, she was talking about a new design that had different collar options, different neckline shape options, different arm lengths, different body lengths. And that's all fantastic. It's all really good information that is really gives a lot of value to patterns, and it means that knitters get a lot for their money when they buy those patterns. That's an awful lot of information to have in one PDF, and I guess that's where things like knitting apps can come in useful, so you can make information like that easier to ingest. And so I guess, where does open pattern format come into all of this? Open pattern format is a file format that myself and my husband have developed, which will do the job of a PDF effectively, but a lot better. So PDF originally came to being in the 90s, and it was created as a digital way to present information consistently. So a bit like a page of paper, but in a digital form. But with that, it means that the information that is on that, say for example A4 piece of paper, is all static. It's exactly what you would see if you were going to print it off, basically, or if you had it as a piece of paper. So none of the information on it is dynamic. If you have it on your phone screen, for example, you have to zoom into the bit that you want to see it at a decent size, and then you have to pan around the screen to be able to see everything that's on that bit of page. What we're hoping to achieve with open pattern format is a file that you can download and you can treat like you would a PDF file currently, but it offers all of the interactive features that you get with an in-app experience. So designers will still have control of their interactive files, their OPAF files. They will be able to sell them like they do PDFs, and knitters will have an app that they can load the pattern into in order to read it. At the moment, the app that's available is our app called Pattern Manager, and it reads the file, a bit like Adobe Acrobat was the first program that could read PDFs. Pattern Manager is the first app that can read OPAF files. What sets this apart, not only the fact that it's an interactive pattern experience from a file rather than an app itself, the control stays with the designer, the file is distributed like a PDF, and everyone wins. That's the way we see it. So what can you expect from an OPAF pattern? Quite a lot actually. Interactive charts, information that fits in scales of screen, can be changed to font size. Progress tracking is really great with OPAF. Like, you can literally tick off the rows and the repeats as you do them. It will save your progress. You have projects, so it can be like a project management tool as well, so you can pick up a WIP that you worked on 6 months or a year ago and go, oh, well, that's exactly where I was in the pattern because it's told me where I am. So yeah, it has all of those really cool features, it's really, really useful. The other thing that we've incorporated into OPAF is if you still don't want to look at a screen, don't look at a screen. Click the export to PDF button and print it. So you still get all that single size information, you still get to configure your pattern with your gauge, with your measurements or whatever else the pattern allows you to do, and you can still export it to a PDF to print if that's how you prefer to have your patterns. But the other thing you can do with it, and this is designer dependent, but you can also have truly customizable patterns in regards to, oh, my gauge is a little bit off, my row gauge is a little bit different to the pattern, but the pattern allows me to enter a row gauge, so if you enter a row gauge, then the pattern instructions will alter and fit what your row gauge is. Or if there's 5 options for body length or for bust size, then pick the size that you want to knit. Pick the size that's most relevant to you, and it will only show you the information for that size or for that option. My compound raglan for the over the ocean, you have to go through the sections in the PDF relevant to your size to make sure you're knitting the right increases at the right time, to make sure that the compound works the way that it should. With OPAF, you select your size and you don't have to worry about what section you knit because it's just showing you the information that you need to see. You don't need to know about what size. If you're knitting size 1, you don't see the information for size 2 to 10 because it's not relevant to you. I can't remember all of the patterns that we've made into OPAF files so far, so I'll put them on the screen, but I have a couple that you could probably classify as truly customizable patterns now. One of which is the garter squish beanie. The garter squish beanie, you can enter both a stitch gauge and a row gauge. And then your head measurements, so your circumference and how deep the depth of your hat, and it will build you a knitting pattern that's bespoke to what you've given it. So you'll get the right size circumference hat with the right amount of ease. You will get it relevant to your gauge that you're knitting. So technically you could pick any yarn and any gauge at any gauge with any size needle, and providing you put your gauge information in correctly, it will build you a hat that will be the right size for you. And the other one that we've done that with of my patterns has been my Quincy cowl. The Quincy cowl, you can add in a circumference you want your finished cowl to be and a depth and your gauge, and it will build it for you. Again, any weight yarn if you so wished. Pretty powerful what you can do from having a file dedicated to knitting patterns, basically. So the Quincy cowl and the garter squish beanies pattern are both free patterns available for OPAF. So if you download the app and go onto our pattern index, you can literally open them from the pattern index and it will load it into your library, and you can play and have a look straight away. Some of my other patterns that we've done, I think the other ones, if I remember rightly, are obviously the Over the Ocean and my Speckle Pop Socks patterns. Those are paid for patterns, so the links on the pattern index will take you to where you can purchase those patterns. And yeah, we're slowly making our way through my patterns so far. We are also very much looking for designers to join us in this journey. The other fantastic thing about OPAF is, I said about wanting to include all designers all of the time. So we are also creating what we are calling a pattern creator tool. It's not released yet. The point of the pattern creator tool is to allow any designer who wishes to create their own OPAF interactive pattern files. And at the moment, we're not ready to release it. Like I just said, there's quite a lot of work to do still on it. But what we are looking for is designers to work with to help us test the tool. By that, what I mean is designers that are willing to send us their patterns so we can use the creator tool to input the pattern, and then what we will do is we will send back the finished OPAF pattern file for them to check, make sure they're happy with, and then if they like what they see, they like what OPAF brings to their pattern, then they are free to sell that pattern alongside their PDFs as you would do normally when you've worked on a pattern. The reason we're asking for people to send us our patterns at this stage is because the creator tool isn't in a form where we're ready to share it yet, but we still need to test it with a wider variety of patterns other than just my own. Yeah, as much as I would like to say that I know as much or everything there is to know about knitting pattern writing, knitting pattern design, I don't. I only have about 13 patterns so far. What we need a wide breadth and variety of patterns to test the tool with, to know that it does what it needs to do and does it in a logical way that others can do it too. So that's where we are at the moment. Talking about it and getting the news out there has been quite difficult so far. I don't think many people have heard of it yet. So yeah, we're really working on trying to get the word out there. But yeah, we're getting there. We've got one pretty large designer. It's quite exciting really. This has only happened in the last couple of days. We have just started working with one larger designer who we are starting to convert a pattern for now. So in a few weeks' time, hopefully there might be more to share on that. I'm not going to name names yet because for any reason that it doesn't come to fruition. But yeah, it's exciting but scary. And then yeah, we're in conversation with a few others. So yeah, there should be some more patterns other than my own cropping up in OPAF format soon. Really do check it out. It is really cool. And I know I'm saying that as a co-creator of it, but yeah, go check us out. It's openpatternformat.com, and on Instagram it is Open Pattern Project. I won't even get into the reasons why it's not Open Pattern Format on Instagram, but let's just say it's because Instagram is a pain in the bottom. But yeah, that is that. And that's hopefully all I've got to say now. I'm a bit talked out, and it's a little bit disconcerting that my kids have been so well behaved for the last few minutes. I can't say that I'm not relieved because that was quite a lot to talk about. Yeah. If you are a designer and you fancy getting involved, please check out our website. We have a blog post that details a little bit better what we are looking for at this stage from designers, and there's a form at the bottom of that post to help you get in contact basically. Yeah, we would love to hear from you, and we'd also love to hear, if you're not a designer, what you think. Go get the app. The app is called Pattern Manager, and like I say, you can get to a list of the patterns that are already done from the app now. Go check it out, go download a pattern, go see what you think, and give us some feedback. We really want to hear what people think. This isn't a business for us. This is a venture that we are doing because we believe in it and we think that it has a place in the industry. So many things that you see pop up these days, everything's about making money. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand that everything needs to make money. Money makes the world go around. You can't pay your bills if you don't make money. But we very much wanted to start this venture as a not-for-profit project. And the reason for that is because we want this to be widely adopted by people. We want it to be a community project really. Like, we're doing the legwork at the moment, but there's no reason that people can't get involved in time. The things that are going to be needed on Pattern Creator tool currently is, from our side, documentation. Everything needs a user manual, and this is no exception. This will need a user manual too. And also things like icons for charting. I have a lot of icons to make. Like, I've been doing the ones we've needed for patterns to date, but we don't have a back catalogue of lots and lots of icons at the moment. So that is another thing that I need to be working on. Hopefully in time that will be something that actually everyone can contribute to. If you've got a custom stitch in your design and you want a chart icon that's specific to it, then there will be you will have the ability to create that stitch to go in your chart. You won't be limited by that. And yeah, it's something that we want to grow as a community project. We don't want to make funds a limiting factor for this being successful, basically. Yeah. In fact, actually, and I don't think I've said this yet, and this is one of the major parts, the major players in Open Pattern Format, is actually the file format itself is open source. So anyone literally can contribute to its success. You can go on our website and look at the GitHub repository files for the format. Yeah, it's all out there. Like, Pattern Manager at the moment is the first and the only app that reads OPAF files. Hopefully that will change for open pattern format. Hopefully in a few years' time, when it gets a bit bigger, other people will want to either incorporate OPAF into their existing services so that OPAF patterns can be accepted, or they might create their own apps with slightly different features to what ours offers. We're not limiting and we're not stopping people from doing that. We want it to work for everyone. So yeah, I hope that all makes sense. I'm just about to say goodbye.
Can I say goodbye too?
I think we've done enough talking for today, haven't we? I apologise if that was a bit boring for the end. Hopefully you found it interesting. Actually, we're really motivated by this project, so hopefully we might have sparked your interest too. Definitely please go check it out. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my makes and my knitting bits and pieces today. Do you know what, Pippa? The other thing I was going to talk about was, this is a bit of life news, so if you don't want to hear the live chat, then please feel free to disappear now. I won't be offended. The other reason that some of my knitting progress has been slow recently is because actually I've started a new job. The new job has seen me leaving the house. I haven't been working on my knitty stuff all of the time like I was before, which is a bit of a shame. I do miss that. But likewise, I am enjoying my new job. It's mainly mornings, but by the time I get home, I only really have kind of an hour or so, keeping you up. I only have an hour or so to myself before the kids come home from school. So yeah, life has got an awful lot busier, and that's why
Mummy,
my knitting progress hasn't been as quick as I would have liked. That's also why my pattern was slower to release than I would have liked, but it's fine, we're getting there. Life is busy, but life is also fun as well, so I can't complain too much. On another note though, that is why, if you have been around here waiting for news on my crafters file little business venture, that is why that hasn't got up and running at the moment. I do still intend on doing something with it. What I will probably do is put out a very, very limited call of people that have shown interest and offer a small run of products for those people in the near future, possibly with half term coming up, because I have half terms off now with you. That's the only thing. I have you at home as well, so what I might get done might not still be that much, but I might be able to palm them off to Nanny and Granddad's for a couple of days.
It's yes and no.
Yeah, so I might be able to get a couple of days to do some bits and pieces around them. So yeah, I do hope to do something small with the crafters file soon. It's not something that I want to just completely give up on, because I think I had a nice, good idea, and I would like to see where it would go. It's just taken a lot longer than it should have, because I don't have as much time as I used to.
Mummy?
But yeah.
Can I watch this video after we've finished it?
It's going to be a long one, but you can if you want to.
Okay.
So, without further ado, Pippa, let's say bye-bye now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Apologise that it's been a bit of a... Well, to be honest, why am I apologising? Because these are what these videos are like for me, isn't it? They're either me rambling or crazy interruptions or just a little bit of... But yeah, we've got there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We will catch you again next time. Bye-bye. You gonna wave?